Welcome back, everyone. My name is Dwayne Kimball, United States Army veteran and retired VA rating specialist. Today's video, a lot of veterans and active duty service members have been asking me, Dwayne, why, how, what was some of the training and your day-to-day operations as a VA rater? In today's video, I will answer all of those questions, so make sure you stick around. Hello, in today's video, why did I become a rater? How? What was some of the training and day-to-day operations? But before I get into answering those questions, make sure you go out to my website, pick up my new book, VA Claims Success. So today, I'm going to answer some questions that I get quite often from not only veterans, but active duty service members as well that may be looking to become a VA rater. Now, before I start this video, a lot of veterans ask me, Dwayne, are you accredited? I am not a VSO. I am not an attorney. I am not a claims agent. I was trained, not by an outside agency, to represent veterans. I was trained by the Department of Veterans Affairs as a journeyman rating specialist. I didn't start out as a journeyman, but RVSR, okay? The VA trained me and I adjudicated my own claim. That is why I know so much about this process, okay? A lot of veterans say, oh, you gotta have a VSO, somebody that's accredited that knows this process. Well, who would know this process more than a lawyer or a VSO, a rater, okay? Because we're all trained by the VA. Now, I can't say every rater is an advocate, but we all get pretty much similar to the same training when we come out of our initial training, okay? Now, why did I become an RVSR, a VA rater? Sort of fell in my lap. I was at a job fair. I was trying to work with a Department of Defense contractor and saw the Department of Veterans Affairs. They had a booth there. I applied and I got accepted. Now, the qualifications. You had to have a master's degree. When I showed up, I had to have a copy of that master's degree. I had to have a copy of my master's degree transcript and my DD-214. Now, do you need a master's to be an RVSR? In my opinion, no. It's nothing that I learned going through obtaining my MBA, my master's is in business, that helped me as a rating specialist. Here's why. My training started the first or second week of June and went all the way to October. And they had several quality instructors to come and give us blocks of instructions on the VA claims process. I'm talking about the 5 ways of service connection, diagnostic code criteria, court cases, 38 CFR, M21 manual reference, new and material evidence, a whole just everything, right? They're throwing all this stuff at us. And I'm gonna tell you, I came out of the gate slow because they were throwing a lot of information at me and I wasn't catching on. And I started to ask questions. My supervisor at the time didn't like that so much. I didn't care. So she would get upset, but I still asked questions. And one day I can remember her saying, if you haven't picked it up by now, you may want to go and find another job. And I felt that she was directly saying that to me, because she couldn't say it to me individually or it would have been a problem. So she said it to the group, but I felt she was directing it to me. And so I've had people throughout my life tell me, oh, you can't do this or you can't do that. I love it because we all need those haters. So I knew, Dwayne, you work for Fortune 500 companies in management, you can do this. Stay the course, and that's exactly what I did. Now, when I did our initial training, the VA will send you to central office in Baltimore. I don't know if they still do it. And you go through 2 weeks of training, intense training there. and they have about 4 or 5 trainers from around the country that will come in and teach your class. And so I'm going through, and one gentleman from Columbia, South Carolina, I wasn't getting it. He pulled me to the side and he said, Dwayne, what is it that you're not understanding? So I explained it to him. He was like, oh, I'm gonna write on this piece of paper something that I use as a rater that I think will help you. And it did. It was a game changer for me. And the following week, another individual from Detroit, Michigan said, Dwayne, when we get back to the hotel, meet me downstairs after you eat 5:30. I want to go through some stuff with you that I think that you're getting caught up on. And she brought one of those, we had John Doe package claims file. We went through it and I was like, you know what? I got it. The light bulb went on. But it took those 2 individuals to pull me to the side, to show enough interest in me, and pull me to the side to help me initially. And the individual from Michigan, she became my mentor, and she gave one of my trainings in one of my YouTube videos. Okay, it's been about 3 years, but she talked about the protection rule. Had over 30 plus years working for the VA. I call her a walking VA dictionary. Awesome individual. But, so I come back to St. Petersburg region's office. That's where I worked at as a rating specialist. Continue the training, people, different quality instructors coming in. 3 of those instructors were awesome. They were so good, I still remember their first and last name years later. Okay, and when I went to a different team after my training, and these individuals still gave blocks of instructions, training every month. Okay, very awesome. Now, come back to St. Petersburg regional office, get my training, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting it. I'm a little bit slow. I'm not as fast because I'm trying to make sure I'm looking at all the evidence, learning all the acronyms, going through the M21 manual reference, make sure I understand how to do the search, reading court cases, all of this stuff, okay? And I get my first production review. And yes, raters on production quotas. And not only are we were on production quotas, we were on quality quotas as well, okay? So it could be kind of stressful, especially if you get an error. So I'm looking at stuff once, looking at it twice, looking at it 3 times, second guessing myself, because I don't want to mess up. And I was supposed to be at 2.5 production points, and I was at 2.46. And I can remember my supervisor saying, oh, well, my manager, she was like, oh, well, he didn't make it, da-da-da, and all this other stuff, right? So I'm like, man, and I'm like, So could they be upset because I'm asking questions or what? So in the same meeting, supervisor says, we feel that you need to be moved to another team. So I'm thinking the other 25 people that I hire in with, are they going to another team? I'm the only one. So I'm like, oh, they were upset because I'm asking questions and maybe it pissed them off. I don't care. But that was one of the main things that made me a good rater. Here's why. The day-to-day. When you're a rater, you're looking at court cases. You're looking at 38 CFRs. You're looking at the M21 manual reference. You're looking at effective dates. You're looking at evidence. You're looking at C&P exams. And you're looking at DBQs. Because guess what? The VA taught me what makes a DBQ and Nexus statement sufficient. Not a VSO office or organization, the VA that created these DBQs. But I'm not going to go too far into that. Now, I go to a new team, get to the new team, nobody's talking to me. The supervisor introduces me to the team, still nobody comes over and says, hey, what is your background? Welcome to the team. No, nothing. I get up here, nobody's talking to each other. Everybody's head is down in this claims file. Okay, you may see a few people get up, walk to the bathroom, maybe go to lunch or something. It is quiet, got your headphones on or whatever, okay? I'm still going through my monthly training. Someone has the second sign, meaning once I complete a rating, they have to sign off, okay? And they did that for, I want to say, about 12 months, maybe 10, 11 months or something like that, until I went solo and I was on my own, okay? But I remember my supervisor said, hey, if you don't have it by now, maybe you need to go work somewhere else. And it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't directed to me. She said it before the group. And I always felt that her and her manager was like, he's not going to make it. And I was like, you know what? We all need haters. They just added fuel to my fire. And I just started working overtime, not for the money, but to give me more time to get a little bit faster, looking through the medical records from active duty for veterans, get into the M21 manual reference, try to search for different things, and searching the 38 CFR and reading court cases. And guess what? It helped. But some things that I saw that I felt upper management treated veterans like numbers, because it wasn't how many veterans we served this month, it's how many cases did we get pushed through. And I was always told the first week, you have to be an advocate for the veteran, because the only thing that speaks for that veteran is you and that information, but you still have to follow the 38 CFR, the M21 manual reference, and court cases, okay? So I was kind of slow out of the gate because I'm doing research, looking for this information, and once I find it, how do I apply it to the cases that I'm working? And that's where I kind of bumped heads with management. And I started saying stuff in team meetings, and I was like, you know what? They don't care what I'm saying, what feedback I'm giving. I worked in management for years in the private sector, and those companies trained me. They trained me in different process improvement methodologies. And I'm like, you know what? Managers here, they don't care. Majority of them don't. Some do, but I felt majority of them didn't. So then I was like, I have to be that advocate for that claim file that's sitting on my desk. And that's what I did for years. In none of my training, the VA said, or any instructor said, you have to deny the vet the first time around. In fact, it was just the opposite. People that came in and did the training, one of the things they always said, look for ways to service connect. Look for a 38 CFR, look for an M21 manual reference to service connect. If you can't find one that'll help you service connect, then you have to deny the claim. But always first, look for a way to service connect. I know a lot of veterans don't believe that. Now, I can't speak for other people's training, other people's instructors in other states. I can only speak for the training that I went through. But I will say this. Other classes after me, the VA got away from doing the training that they did with us. I guess they felt it was just too long, and they were wrong. And then a lot of people started quitting, okay? Because the training wasn't the same. And then when you get on what they call signal signature, after, that person is no longer signing off, you get on signal signature, you got to hit the ground running. It's like a slingshot. You got to get it, okay? And I felt that. But by that time, with me working at overtime, the little extra training I was doing on myself, with the M21 and 38 CFR, it helped out tremendously, okay? And then one of those individuals from Baltimore, that was one of my instructors, again, became my mentor. And I could ask her questions, say, hey, I'm looking at this, I'm looking at that. Well, what did you do when this happened? Or, something like that. And she would always either respond by email or give me a call, all right? And that helped out a lot. Actually, she was on one of my YouTube videos, and she talked about the protection rule, okay? Gave a detailed explanation of 5, 10, 15, 20, broke it down, okay? So that's on my channel as well. So that's why, how, my day-to-day as a rater in the training. So if you want to look for a way to service vets, being an RVSR, and RVSR is definitely a way to go. Now, I will caution you, For me, I don't think the training is the same. But if you decide to go that route, understand how to go through and navigate the 38 CFR and the M21 manual reference. Take notes, okay? Also, be ready to make a quota. Get on a quota system, okay? You have to, you just got to be ready for it, okay? And another thing that I want to express is a lot of people, going back to VSOs, claims agent, and lawyers. A lot of people say you have to be accredited to educate people. You don't. I don't know where to get that from. But I will say this. Just understand, if you're not accredited, or if you are accredited, you're the veteran, you still got to be educated on this process. Because if somebody submits that claim for you, how did they complete the form? Did they send it in? How do you confirm if they sent it in? What's next? What is the diagnostic code criteria? These are videos that I'm trying to educate veterans with on this information, okay? Again, all of my training from the Department of Veterans Affairs. I've seen some good raters, seen some not so good raters, and the same thing with claims agents, VSOs, and lawyers. Some were good, some were not so good, but they were not trained by the Department of Veterans Affairs, okay? So with that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and don't forget to share this video with your fellow veterans. Thank you.